Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyla at Speckles and Wool, and today we are going to be doing our very first crochet podcast. I'm kind of jealous. All of the knitters have podcasts, but I don't have a lot of crocheters that I'm subscribed to that have podcasts, and I would love to see it. So here I am trying to fill that need and talk about some of my projects in the meantime. I did the super special thing where I created a couple videos and then I disappeared for like 3 months. I think it was 102 days to be exact, if my YouTube analytics are correct. You would think that that would give me plenty of time to knit, crochet, do anything else like fiber arts related. And let me tell you, friend, you would be wrong because I did a lot these past 3 months. I got a new job. I finished my old job. I packed up all of my belongings in Colorado. I found a house and I bought a new house in Nebraska. So I am currently in what will be my craft room, but is currently a furnitureless room, which is quite thrilling. So that's what we're working with today. But I do want to talk about a couple of the projects that I have been dabbling with these past couple months. Have I made great progress? No. Am I proud of what I've been able to do? Yeah, because there's been a lot going on. And guess what? My hobbies are not a race. I tend to think they are sometimes, but they are not. So without further ado, I think I have 4 projects that I want to talk about. None of them are finished. They're all works in progress. I want to say 1 knitting project and 3 crochet projects. And I just want to touch base, get back into the swing of this because I really missed YouTubing and talking with people. Even though I only have 150 subscribers, it's really fun. And so I missed this. So let's get into it. In my last video where I talked about spring items that I was working on, spring tops specifically, I mentioned that I was making a tank top out of the Euphoria Knits Persephone, the sock yarn that I was crocheting a tank top out of. It is green and pink and cream and just absolutely stunning and looks like a wildflower field. Now, I had previously ripped out a project to start a tank top, and then I ripped out that tank top to start another project. Can you tell I'm indecisive? So you're going to be like, Kyla, didn't we start with this? Yes, we did. Thanks for being so observational. This doesn't look like much yet, but it is going to turn into a scarf and or shawl. I don't know. It's kind of big, so it could be a shawl. And it's like this trellis pattern, and right now it's not blocked, obviously, but once it's blocked, it really truly does stretch out in a super beautiful way. And so it gains a lot of length just by being blocked, but then kind of condenses once it's not. I don't know whether it's gonna be a shawl. I don't know whether it's gonna be a scarf. All I know is I started making the tank top and there were a couple concerns I had. One, fit. I think I made the armhole too deep. I can show pictures probably off to the side. 2, I had bought 2 skeins at my local yarn store and bought an additional one later. And I realized really quick when they were crocheted side by side, they're not the same. Like they're the same colorway, but they are not the same level of saturation. And it became super clear in the tank top that 2 of the skeins were like a deeper, more saturated, more intense pink, purple, green situation, while the other skein was more of like a English cottage feel. And so I'm still going to use all 3 of them together in the same project, but I think I'm going to use the odd skein out as kind of like an edging or a border, something like that. So it does, it looks purposeful and intentional because they're not so different where I want to split them up into different projects, but they are different enough where if you crochet them right next to each other and it doesn't look intentional, it looks a little weird, especially because the tank top, the front side of it was very saturated and then the back side was very not. And I was like, that's not good. And also the third thing, I was just not sure I was going to wear a wool tank top. I am now deeper into the Midwest and I'm sweating in my house in AC right now. I'm going to be honest with you. So I just could not imagine myself wearing a wool tank top. I know some people do. I don't know if I'm going to be that person. So I've decided to instead turn it into this beautiful lace, super satisfied with. It's just one of those projects where, when I'm watching a TV show or a documentary, I add a couple rows to it, super easy, very repetitive, easy to pick back up. And I just love the way how it's called rose trellis and it has all these beautiful wildflower colors. Come on, they were meant to be together. And so I think this is the final landing spot for this yarn. I hope. I don't want to rip it out again, especially with how long this lace takes. The second works in progress that I have is one that I started fairly recently. I have been working on the others for a hot second, and sometimes you just need the thrill of like a fresh start. And I'm one of those people that really likes crocheting with like fingering weight yarn because it makes such like lovely drapey fabric. I know crochet can get a little bit dense sometimes, and I don't want it to be dense. But I inherited a ton of yarn from my mother. She had a bunch of wool that she can no longer use because she's now skin sensitive to wool. And so I benefited. And so I have bins, literal bins of amazing yarn that I'm trying to use and get through, which is just incredible. Now, this is kind of outside of my comfort zone in several ways. So I previously last year made a sunny side sweater by Jewel Makes, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she's on Instagram. And I loved it. It was my yellow sweater. I really enjoy it. I think I'm going to wear it a couple times this summer to like a concert and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be very wearable, especially come, when the school year starts in August. It's made of linen. It's awesome. I saw this yarn in my mom's stash that she had given me, and it's kind of outside my comfort zone in a couple ways. So number one, it's blue. I'm not a person who wears blue too often, which is funny because two of my whips are blue. I'm like really attracted to how blue looks, but I'm not always super enthusiastic about how it looks on me. However, I really love this yarn. And I was like, you know what, let's take a shot. It's Rowan. I don't know the color or what. It's like a Rowan rustic wool, and it is just fabulous. It has like, I don't know if you can see it, but it has all this tweed in it, and so it's truly variegated. It's not variegated, but it has flex. It's tweedy. It's not like one color, which I don't love crocheting in a solid color. That's not my favorite thing, and I'm loving this so far because it is worsted weight, which is also outside of my comfort zone. I like fingering weight. This is scary because this is much more bulky than I'm used to. It's working up so fast. It's changing my life. I almost finished this sweater like 2 days ago. Confession. I almost finished this sweater 2 days ago. I got too close to the end and I hated it. I had made several mistakes. And by mistakes, not like I missed a stitch or like crocheted two together. I mean, I just used the wrong hook size. I wasn't used to crocheting with this yarn and it felt bulletproof. I put the thing on and I was like, this is Kevlar. This is not going to work for everyday wear. And so I ripped it all out, or I'm in the process of ripping it all out as I crochet these new panels. And I went up from I think a 5 to a 6 millimeter, and it has made a world of difference. I also increased the dimensions of the sweater because I frequently work with superwash wool and it stretches a lot. It blocks out very differently than what it started. I ran some of this rustic wool. Don't laugh at me. I took a strand of it and I ran it under some sink water and dried it off. And you're like, that's not accurate. No, it isn't. But this is how I do things. Okay. And it did not stretch at all. It got softer. It looked great. Brilliant halo, but it did not stretch at all. And so that led me to some concerning thoughts because I was like, oh, I made this as if it is superwash and it is not superwash and it won't do what I want and it's bulletproof and it's dense and it doesn't drape. And I just felt like, so that's what led me to make this. 10 out of 10, excited to be making this sweater again. I want like a cropped, boxier version. I want it to just look beautiful and easy to wear in like the winter and the spring. Maybe cooler summer nights. We're definitely not there right now, but eventually, hopefully, we get there. So that is my second whip. Okay, my third whip, I'm super excited about, like super excited because I spent a good amount of time on her yesterday. I looked at her and I was like, I think we're at a spot where if I work a couple hours on this and watch a documentary on LuLaRoe, I can get through a significant part of this and maybe have this done in like a day or two. I was right. So here is my third whip. Last time you saw her, she was little. I think she was like a panel or two. Now she looks like a vest. Okay, that angle makes her look really, really big. The thing about clothes that freaks me out is when you hold them up, you're like, that's too big for me. And then you put them on your body and you're always humbled. You're like, oh, that's how clothes work. That's how they go from 2D to 3D. Okay. But let me show you again. I might have to include a picture just because the way she looks on camera, I think I might need a picture to really balance her out. Okay, let me actually just go put her on because I'm far too excited. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. She's on. She will not remain on for too long because she is superwash wool and she is hot, and it is hot today. But I moved the camera around a little bit so that you can kind of see what we're working with. So when I previously showed off this Nami top, she was just like 2 panels. And she is also outside my comfort zone because I don't typically work with white or cream or like any kind of neutral, to be honest with you. I'm like a big pop of color kind of gal, even though this black tank top says otherwise. But yesterday I was able to add these little shoulder caps, seam, and then add the side seams. And at first, the pattern has 2 different versions where you can kind of make the neckline not arched like this. You can eliminate some of this chevron bumpiness. But I'm not going to lie, I thought I was going to do that. I kind of love the whimsy of this. She kind of reminds me of toilet paper. You know, fancy toilet paper, how it has the wavy edges? I don't need to call myself out like that, but that's what she reminds me of, and not in like a bad way. I just think it's cute and whimsical. Okay. Now, here, let me see if I can stand up on my tiptoes because I am short. This is what we're working with, okay? So we have the lovely kind of scallops at the bottom. We have the scallops up near the neckline. And then everything that I need to do, the only things that I need to do is add, Bear, what are you doing? Sorry, that's my dog. If you hear jingle jangling, he's very cute and likes to be involved. Anyways, the only things I need to add are the sleeves, okay? Now, when I say sleeves, I don't mean like big sleeves. I mean little sleeves. And the reason for that is because I am extremely limited by the amount of yarn I have. Let me show you. Okay, so when I say I'm limited by yarn, I mean I'm limited by yarn, okay? I do this dance every time where I find pretty yarn and I don't, know what I'm going to do with it. So then every project is kind of yarn chicken by the end. I think I will use every bit of this yarn to put some cute little sleeves on it, just to make it like a little crocheted t-shirt. I don't have one of those. That would be super cute. Okay, anyways, sorry if I'm standing weird. I am standing around my dog because, like I said, he likes to be involved. I'll put a picture of the culprit off to the side. Anyways, if you are interested in this yarn, I'm obsessed with it. I will definitely buy from her again. Not right now because I just bought a house and I don't have money. But soon I'll buy from her again. And I bought from Poppy and Spruce Fibers. She's located in Denver and I used to live in Colorado. And it is the colorway Just a Fun Guy in Spruce DK, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I like crocheting with sock yarns. Very enjoyable. Now, I'm intrigued to see how this one blocks out because the length is perfect. The width, I could use it as a little boxier. I'm more of a boxier fit. It either has to be skin tight or completely boxy. And so when I'm blocking it, because I know it'll grow regardless, I think I'd like the width to grow. If I'm going to have to channel that growth somewhere, I think I want the width to grow. So I will keep you updated in my next podcast, my next video, to show you how this looks because I'm very excited. I'm also very hot and sweaty, so I'm going to go take this off. Okay, my 4th and final whip is stunning, if I do say so myself. And I think it has very little to do with my actual knitting skill and like 100% to do with the fact that I'm using Malabrigo. Like, it's very difficult to mess up a Malabrigo project because it's so pretty. Let me show you the yarn. I don't think it's picking up 100% accurately on the camera, to be quite honest. But it's like this bluish, greenish, under the sea kind of moment. It is Mecca 809 Solis, Solis. I totally bought this on a whim, like forever ago. I bought 3 balls of this. I was obsessed with the color. Why did I buy it? I don't know. Girl doesn't wear blues fairly often, but I just fell in love with it. And it looks very blue on camera. It has a lot of green undertones. So it's like a seaweed blue under the sea kind of moment. And I just have been staring at it going, what do I do with this? Like, this is not in my wardrobe. This is not a color that I typically gravitate towards. Like, what's a girl to do? But I also selfishly did not want to gift it. I wanted to make something for myself because it's Malabrigo. It's perfect. So let me show you what I started. So again, I am not a knitter. I knit sometimes, but I watch knitting podcasts, but I'm very unfamiliar with all of it, to be quite honest with you. So I started a very easy project. It is this, oh God, that looks good on camera. I started this seed stitch scarf. Now, stick with me. I have never done seed stitch before, so I was very excited to be successful at this because it looks very difficult, but it's just alternating knit purl stitches, and it glows with the sheen of the Malabrigo. Now, here's the thing. I have a lot of scarves. I lived in Colorado. I have quite a few scarves. So my thought was, not that this is any different, it's still a scarf. My thought was that I would make this into one of those circular scarves. I know circular scarves are very like 2010s. However, you're lying to me if you tell me you're not obsessed with a plush, fluffy scarf. And there's something about wrapping a circular scarf around your neck during the winter that's just ideal. Like amazing. So I'm currently, let me see if I can unfold this. Bloop. Yeah, isn't this good? So I am currently less than 2 balls in. I'm still working on my second ball, and I still have the third hank. So I'm kind of at this point where I think I'm going to incorporate all 3 hanks and just make it super plush, super squishy, super yummy to wear. And if it takes me until winter, that's fine because I'm not under a rush. It's a scarf. It's summer. I don't need it right now. But it's been really fun just to like do when I'm watching TV. It does not take much effort, but it takes some effort because knitting does not come naturally to me. So it's very routine, you know? It's just nice. It's lovely. Anyways, that is everything I've been working on the last couple months. I realized that a lot of it, all of it, is wool. I am kind of bemoaning the fact that I don't have anything cute and summery to work on. So if you have any like cute summer patterns that you would recommend, any yarn that you'd recommend, because I don't often crochet with like cotton or linen, please drop them in the comments below because I'd love to cast on or get started with a summery flowy shirt cardigan kind of situation. I love vests. I do that too. So if you have any recommendations, please put them in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe, and I'm excited to see you guys later.